Hello, and welcome back for our second of four gallery talks for the BFA thesis exhibitions of the senior student. Hold on, yeah. For the BFA, the BFA seniors in studio art. The show titled Bits and Pieces, featuring four artists: Josie Genson, Darian Knapp, Chloe Miller, and Clara Williams. Just a quick, just to make sure that you know, stop by tomorrow night for the gallery receptions in both galleries, 5 to 7 in Ohio University Art Gallery and 6 to 8 p.m. in Trisolini Gallery. Both shows will also be available for viewing until 5 p.m. on Friday evening. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to the gallery talks. Thank you.
Hi there. My name's Darian. My pronouns are they, them. I'm from Athens, Ohio, born and raised, and I'm graduating with a BFA in photography. I'm non-binary. My queerness and personal experience highly influenced my work. I'm primarily a photographer, but I employ a lot of DIY techniques and multimedia things such as collage. I also work with both digital and analog photography processing, so I do all kinds of film work too. It's all just part of the show, meditates on my own identity and experiences as a queer person and as a freak. I use clown imagery as a way to comment on the performative nature of gender identity and self. To be a person is to perform, to live is to clown. I draw from my everyday experiences. My work serves as a communication of self to be better understood. I explore and process pieces of my own identity and experiences through this body of work. Everyone puts on performances of their own every day. It's just part of life. This isn't good or bad, it just is. Every experience and piece of ourselves informs this. My use of collage and assemblage attempts to visually explore this phenomenon. I'm taking pieces of my own life, my health, my routine, my queerness, and combining them as a form of portrait. Using visual elements like cards, velvet, costume, and clown, metaphorical stage is set for the show. I'm going to walk you guys through the pieces in this body of work. So my first one is Pork Performances, which are on either side of me. Got a big one on my face, and then me with these flowers. This piece is about putting on everyday performances poorly. This is about my own gender expression. As a non-binary person, I'm often stuck in this world between femininity and masculinity. So this is exploring that as well as just the pressure to perform everyday tasks. That's why the makeup is this clown moniker. I do a lot of clown makeup and self-portraits, and so this is seeing that as kind of a worn down thing, this performing poorly. And then this is me offering you as the audience of, okay, I've dead flowers, I don't really have anything left to give. They're wildflowers that I picked and dried myself. The process, these are both digital photography. These are 16 by 20 scale in the gallery because I wanted them to have a very larger than life appearance to confront the audience. And then the second part of this are these zines, which are a continuation. You can't see them super great on camera, but these are handmade booklets that are digital collage. They take vintage clown patterns for costumes, and they intertwine pieces of myself, such as my teeth and my eyes in them. There's a piece of text on the back that I would like to read. This is from the vintage pattern itself. The clown is bound to the life of the fancy dress party, since just his appearance, especially if he paints his face, is enough to make people laugh. There is no color limitation for his costume, and it may be as loud and as striking as you wish. This is a handmade zine in a format to be given out to others. So again, that communication of self and playing with that as a concept. And then my last thing in this collection is this series right here. This is titled Card Tricks. These are a series of 3 There are two collages that were done digitally and then printed out, and then they have analog collage over top of them. And then the self-portrait part is a silver gelatin print, so it's medium format photography that's painted over with watercolor. These are kind of more about like my health and experiences, and like performing during that than my gender. The things in the background of these are medical records and then like shots from my own actual like everyday planner, which if I don't have on me, I don't remember anything. So you can actually like see what I was doing at the times that I was going through these things on these medical records. So it's kind of like an exploration of myself during that time, but also again, like trying to visually represent that pressure of like having to perform everyday tasks, like of self, but also just like, how do you get everything done during those times? And then they are set in vintage frames, which are velvet and Lascati gold. It's another me playing with this concept of like just games and like setting the stage, like stage curtains are usually velvet, and it's the same with like game trays are usually velvet. And then I've chosen these two cards. There's an extra joker, which is usually the joker that you use like after you've lost all your regular joker cards, so it's kind of like that last face. And then the ace of spades, which is often the card of death, which a little dark when you're thinking about, you know, health problems. But yeah, those are my pieces. And then I have, this isn't part of it, but this is just a little penny for your thoughts. People to write down their kind of guessbook things. I'm open to any questions if anybody has any. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, well, thank you for listening. I'm going to turn it over to Josie.
Hello, I'm Josie Genson, and today I'm presenting my BFA thesis exhibit, Rapid Renaissance. My work consists of 15 ink drawings on paper that convey a wide range of pop culture moments and current events. And now I am going to share some slides. Here we go. So I used a blend of real-world events and iconic Renaissance paintings to create a work that discusses how we capture and understand significant events. Through the use of ink, I explored the unforgiving nature of time. With pen, a mark on the sheet cannot easily be erased, removed, or covered up, which mirrors the nature of our human existence. Engaging in the permanent medium of ink allows me to contemplate the fragility that forever shapes our narrative. This is exemplified through cameras and the creation of social media. In the current day, this is how we mainly receive our news, constantly being bombarded with all kinds of information. So through this maximalist style that I use with ink, I show the style of these bodies of work created to showcase the complexity of these events. In my work, the placement of cameras in each piece surrounds the subject that's creating the moment, which showcases the modern way of recording history and culture. So this piece is called Rise of Reality, and it depicts Survivor. As you see with the detail shots, the cameras are facing the moments that are kind of making the scene, and then one faces the viewer discussing how us as humans are the ones who make such things like reality TV significant. So social media and cameras play into the idea that the abundance of media coverage in every event affects our opinion on the significance of the event and what we view as important. So this piece showcases a crowd of people kind of foaming at the mouth to take a picture of the Mona Lisa, although there are 4 other giant masterpieces behind it. This is inspired by like a real picture, and it kind of shows that although the Mona Lisa is a very beautiful, stunning work of art and should be recognized, social media and camera and modern day opinions do affect what we view as important or significant. So the high or Italian Renaissance was a major inspiration to me when I was creating my works. Other than primarily just aesthetics, a main feature of the Renaissance paintings that inspired me was how each piece depicts a single moment within a storyline, but also at the same time, it manages to encapsulate the entirety of the narrative. Um, and I really wanted to be sure that I included this concept in my works as well. This piece is called Our Supreme Court, and it's based on the decision of overturning Roe v. Wade, um, and it's modeled after the Last Supper. In all the detailing of this work, as you can see in the detail shots, I wanted to add hints to what is going on, similar to these past Renaissance pieces. So in my pieces, I include tiny details, like I said, through line work, patterning, and exploring the interplay between positive and negative space in order to properly narrate the entire storyline. Another important aspect of my work are the large amount of time that I use to depict these moments, which these moments could be 3 seconds or 3 hours. And similar to the Masters of the Renaissance, I wanted to become familiar with the subjects that I was painting and gain an understanding of the narrative when I was showcasing it. So in each piece I have created is directly connected to iconic Renaissance painting. And whether it is dependent on the storyline or the structure or just the inclusion of multiple elements seen in certain pieces, the relation to the previous pieces is extremely important, as this piece is called Bad Jokes at the Golden Globes, and it depicts Joe Coy's offensive jokes and speech at the Golden Globes. And I relate that to the wedding at Cana, kind of just with also the structure, the pillars, the groupings of people, the tables, and also the concept that there is a big group of people gathering together along with conflict. And then we have Miley What's Good. It's just a moment in time that happened at a show, and it's inspired by the Assumption of the Virgin. And then we have The Slap, which is Will Smith slapping at the award show, and it's also important in the connection of the piece. And then we have The Wrong Miss Universe, which was the crowning of the wrong Miss Universe by Steve Harvey, and this is related to the birth of Venus. This installation serves as an archival method to showcase the variety of iconic pop culture moments and current events throughout our lives. Kind of showing these heads of iconic figures and moments such as Heath Ledger, David Bowie, and Michael Jackson. So this exhibit is filled with a vast nature of subjects, where they may not seem like they always relate to each other, but each piece ranges from serious moments to silly fights, and it's important to understand that all of these pieces are placed together so we can fully understand how to visually see how diverse the range of information and narratives we have are today. So we have some more serious pieces along with more of the silly, fun, lighthearted pieces, which is like Harry and Meghan, this whole situation going on with them, a child's funeral, which is a Ukrainian child's funeral, and peaceful protest, which is depicting a peaceful protest of Indigenous people on the pipeline built across their land. So in the past, the only way to archive stories or reality was to create art or write it down. In the current day, we have strayed away from sometimes the important or emphasis on individual moments. With my work, I aim to capture the spirit of our generation through illustrating struggles, triumphs, and the ever-evolving lives that define our contemporary existence. And that is all. If you have any questions, if not, thank you for tuning in.
Hi, I'm Chloe Miller. I'm a printmaking BFA, and this is my thesis project, Scraps to Take With You. As people, we are collecting constantly. These collections are clothing, trash, and heirlooms. These pile up in our homes, workplaces, our bags, and cars. We also have mental collections, memories, dreams, and moments we've forgotten. We end up becoming walking collections of things and experiences, and we are constantly trading pieces of ourselves with others. As a BFA student, I have started to explore the relationships we have with these items by documenting both physical and mental collections on paper and fabric. Here I have developed a floor-to-ceiling drape. It's called They Start to Take Shape, which depicts the mental collection that you cannot physically touch or hold. I was inspired by the traditional Korean mending method, pajagi, that consists of utilizing leftover fabric to make clothing, bed sheets, and curtains. Using the methods of this process, I can mimic the keeping and reusing of these things, ideas, and memories as a collective on a fabric vessel. Utilizing fabric, the symbolism invites ideas on intimacy, a nod to how secretive and sacred a mental collection really is. And due to its size, the metal collection can be viewed as something you cannot hold with two hands. The fabric's imagery has been screen printed, and the varying fabrics have been treated with natural dyes. I've also made a series of prints to symbolize the things we collect, steal, and give to others. These objects are symbolic of the things that can be held. Within the series, I've depicted 4 different physical collections. On the far right over here, we have secret things I can wear this on my sleeve, which is a screen print and stone litho print. Right here, we have laundry chair, which focuses on adornments, and that is a mezzotint and screen print. In the corner back here, we have rocks from a special place, which is about things to help you remember, which is a photo, litho, and a screen print. And then here we have prized possession, which is about prized possessions, which is a mezzotint and screen print. Paper's ability to be something that can be held in 2 hands makes this component of the exhibition become tangible, differing from the fabric installation. Within each piece, I have utilized intaglio, serigraphy, and lithography techniques. I'm interested in the way that these processes can create depth and contrast within a singular piece. And with creating this installation, I hope to share my own personal collections. This offering will develop a relationship with the viewers, creating space to relate, feel, and take from their own collections, exactly what the cycle continues throughout the community as it is depicted with the exhibition. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Clara Williams, and I am a senior print major, and I'm here to talk about my BFA thesis exhibition. I'm going to begin with reading my artist statement. As an artist, I delved into the complexities of contemporary dating landscape, with a specific focus on the experiences of individuals looking for love in their 20s. My current body of work uses circus imagery, which serves as a thematic backdrop for a series that highlights the performative nature inherent in dating. The overarching sentiment among many single people is a feeling of engaging in a grand performance, often leaving them akin to a clown in the dating arena. Much like a clown, individuals may find themselves subject to laughter and may in turn playfully perform with others rather than solely on themselves. This phase of life can be isolating, and my artistic objective is to craft a collection that resonates with the audience, fostering a sense of understanding and reducing the feeling of solitude. Okay, as you could hear from my artist statement, my piece is solely on the feelings of the modern dating culture and is inspired by my own experiences and everyone's experiences around me. Because I've noticed after discussing with many people that are single in their 20s, they haven't had a lot of great experiences. And these great experiences, or not great experiences, have I've noticed have lots of similarities to the circus. So I decided to make an interactive experience relating the modern dating scene to the circus, and more specifically, carnival games. So I'm going to read a little bit more of my inspiration, and then I'll go more into the development of this piece. The more I talk to my peers about their experiences with dating in their 20s, the more I realize we all have similar feelings about it. My friends and I have shared stories of situationships, ghosting people, being ghosted, and nightmare Tinder hookups, things that only seem to come about in the last few years. It is safe to say that they have left us feeling like clowns. Dating in your 20s can often make you feel like the joke is always on you, and your unfortunate dating experiences are performances and comic relief for those around you. Dating in itself can feel like a grand performance. The antics surrounding the modern dating culture, I realize, is similar to the chaotic antics surrounding the circus. For my thesis, I utilized circus imagery to highlight the performance narrative in modern dating. This space is isolating, and my artistic objective is to craft a collection that resonates with the audience. Okay, and now I'm going to talk about my journey with developing this. I started making screen printed posters that were inspired by vintage circus advertisements, and I used that imagery to advertise for modern dating culture. But as I developed my research, I looked more into vintage clown imagery and vintage Valentines, and that's where this, here, let me use one as an example. That's where this screen print came about. It was originally a crayon drawing that I made inspired by a collection of different vintage Valentines that I put into one. I chose to do the puppy image to a, here, I'll come in a little bit, to aid to the puppy love narrative. Okay. I thought this was a necessary thing for my thesis because the puppy love theme I felt related to how I felt coming into college. I had a lot of hope about dating, and then that's where all this feeling like a clown came in. And I realized that that feeling was not just on me the more I talked to people, so that's why having an interactive exhibit was very important to me, having the audience be part of it and to be able to change it to their own experiences, I felt was the best way that I could translate this into an exhibit. So I'm gonna come over here. So I have 80 total clown dogs, is what I will call them. And each of them have their own specific word. And then I designated a couple different shelves so people would be able to look through all these and then create their own sentences. Since each of them have a different word, I made sure to choose words that would point the audience member into a certain type of sentence and inspire them to make things or to create sentences or phrases relating to their own dating experience, good or bad. There's a lot of different choices that you can do. So I have this sign down here to encourage people, and it says, "Please touch me." This is an interactive exhibit, so please feel free to participate. Utilize the words at your disposal to craft sentences or phrases that encapsulate your modern dating escapades, whether they be delightful or dreadful. Don't hesitate to steal words from fellow participants' contributions to enrich your own narrative. Also, as a token of appreciation for participating in my exhibit, here's a little something to take home with you. That's where my little bowl of party favors comes in, because my exhibit has a lot to do with, it's ironic and has themes of like comedy in it, since a lot of it is about feeling like the joke is on you. And the most important thing about it was that everybody is now in on the joke. And as a token of my gratitude of having people interact with this and face some things that they might not want to talk about, but doing it so that we can all be together. I thought it would be funny to have a little party favor for talking about the shitty things that you went through. And I'd like to designate a little bit of time for people to come in and participate. Okay. In conclusion, it is very important to me for this exhibit to be constantly changing based on whoever is participating. And that is my biggest goal. Thank you for listening.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for your time and sharing your process and your work in Trisolini Gallery. Join us tomorrow for the reception, both in Ohio University Art Gallery from 5 to 7 and Trisolini Art Gallery from 6 to 8 p.m. And tune in next week, Wednesday, for the second round of gallery talks from our BFA seniors. Thank you all so much.